Beginning in breaking news about General K Singh, who has lashed out at the Congress over the Agusta allegations. MOSMEA General K Singh speaks exclusively to India today, where he says the Augusta probe will not be another Bofors. Had I been named, I would have quit. He also says, and I quote, previous government tried to suppress facts on the AgustaWestland scam. The Prime Minister, according to K Singh, is very clear that this won't be a political probe.
In 2014, when the Narendra Modi government took over, a very clear statement was made: Pakistan can either talk to Government of India or to Hurriyat. Has there been a change in that stance? With me is General K Singh, Minister of State for External Affairs, former Army Chief. General, has there been a U-turn on the Hurriyat stance?
Our policy, especially our foreign policy, is clear, it is unambiguous, and it is determined to proceed in a particular direction. There is no change. And let me clarify it. And I think a lot of questions are being asked on the parliamentary question that we answer. We have said it very clearly. So-called Kashmiri leaders are Indian citizens. As an Indian citizen, just like any other Indian citizen, you can talk to anybody whom you want to. But when it comes to talk between the two nations, bilateral dialogue, there are only two parties to it, which is India and Pakistan. We do not accept a third party or proxy party or anybody else.
So what is the difference from 2014? In 2014, when Foreign Secretary level talks were called off, how is the situation different now? Why were talks called off?
The situation was that the Pakistani High Commissioner, before the talks took place, said that he wants to consult, please mark the words, consult the Hurriyat to give inputs for this conference. We don't accept it.
So that he cannot do even now, that Pakistan cannot do even now?
They cannot tell us that we are going to talk to Hurriyat just before talks because we want to. Hurriyat is not a party to this. What is Hurriyat? Why are we giving them so much of importance? Couple of leaders who carry hoodlums with them and make waves in the city of Srinagar by getting shops shut and people beaten up. Who are they? What locus standi do they have?
And that you've made it very clear to
Absolutely
Pakistan.
Clear. We are very clear, and I think Pakistan understands the clarity that we have.
Okay. I also want to shift focus to the AgustaWestland investigations. In Italy, the appeals court has named certain politicians, certain bureaucrats. As far as the probe in India is concerned, General, it seems to be centered around just former Air Chief Marshal Tyagi and his family.
No, I think it has to proceed. It has been lying in limbo for some time.
Why?
I think people in the previous government were obviously not interested in coming out. It figured once, if you remember, and then suddenly everything was shut down and they said nothing is happening. Yesterday, one of the channels showed that there was a flurry of activity just before the new government came in to, see the files and close the files.
No, but AK Antony, former defense minister, says your government's been in power for 2 years. What has your government done, sir?
I think when you put a lid on things, it takes time to take those things out. After all, who were the people involved in it? One of the agencies was CBI. There was a director in place for a certain period of time. I think when people want to obfuscate things, it takes time to get the actual things out. And now the things are proceeding. I'm quite sure this government will reach to the bottom of this deal and find out who all are the people who have taken money. Whether it is bureaucrats. After all, in that list that is attached in the Italian court papers, they mentioned that Air Force, they mentioned Deputy Chief, they mentioned DG Acquisition.
Now,
after all these people must be questioned.
Okay, that's a very important point you're making. What you're saying is that it's not just the former air chief. it mentions a certain DG acquisitions at that point of time, who was also JS Air, later Defence Secretary, and now is holding a constitutional post. So is General VK Singh saying that a person may be holding a constitutional post, he should be called in for questioning?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For all you know, this constitutional post is a reward for all the good work he has done to make money for people and for himself.
So, Shashikant Sharma, as Controller and or Auditor General of India today, he should be called in for questioning in the AgustaWestland scam along with other bureaucrats of that time?
If I was him and my name was in such a deal, I would have resigned and come for investigations.
So, Shashikant Sharma should resign and he should join investigations?
I'm saying if I was him. Now it depends on somebody else what kind of moral and what kind of morality they exhibit.
Okay. What about politicians? Because it's also being said that there is fear this could become the second Bofors. While it becomes a big political case, no action taken against the real bribe takers.
See, I think this government is different. I'm quite sure when we start taking out things, and today's situation is not what it used to be at that time. Today, the social media, the mainstream media, the channels, they all will be able to generate such a pressure that it will be difficult for any government to put a lid on anything.
But is there an attempt or could there be a back channel deal as the common man says that governments and opposition, they decide and then no action is taken after a political tamasha?
I don't think so. I don't think. Personally speaking, I have faith in the leadership of the government, and I have faith that things will be taken in the right direction.
Okay. A certain Sinora Gandhi is mentioned in the Italian court orders. Ahmed Patel is mentioned. There are other politicians who are named. It's also said that some of these middlemen had other interests in India apart from just fixing this deal. Now, will all of that be investigated in the right earnest, and if why hasn't it been done so far?
See, I think now that things have come out, things must proceed in the right direction. Anybody who's involved must be investigated, and the correctness of their involvement must be established. Once that is done, required action must be taken as per law of land.
Okay. So will they be called in for questioning?
I've got no clue. I'm not the investigating agency. But what I would say is that they must be investigated. If they have to be questioned, they must be questioned. If they have to be put in front of a polygraph thing, they must be put out there. If some narco test has to be done, please do it. But let's get the truth.
In a time-bound manner?
In a time-bound manner, and that's what the nation wants.
Will that happen?
I hope so.
Okay, and your government is committed, sir?
Our government is committed.
Okay. We will continue to track this story very closely, but a big statement being made by Minister of State External Affairs, General VK Singh, that the Controller and Auditor General should immediately come forward and join investigations. Gaurav Sawant in Delhi for India Today.
Okay, let's go straight now to senior editor Gaurav Sawant, who got that exclusive interview with the minister. Gaurav, I remember, Rajya Sabha was virtually paralyzed. Work was not allowed to happen when the Congress tried to corner the union minister over his dog analogy. And now it's the union minister hitting back and attacking the Congress over the AgustaWestland deal.
Avantika, as former Chief of Army Staff, General VK Singh knows how acquisitions take place in Government of India. He's dealt with it extensively in the army. He knows how it happens in the Ministry of Defence. What role do, bureaucrats play? What role does a former air chief play? What role do ministers play? And ultimately, how are things swung around to whether to favour someone or not? So his point is, if a narco analysis test is required, it should be done. If a polygraph test is required, it should be done. Not just restricting it to a former air chief Shashi Tyagi and his relatives. It should be escalated. It should be escalated to then DG Acquisition, current Controller and Auditor General Shashikant Sharma, to ministers, to other politicians who've been named, and a money trail should be established, Avantika.
Absolutely, Gaurav. We, of course, will keep coming back to you. For now, thanks so much. Let's move on now. As the political slugfest over the AgustaWestland scandal peaks, reacting to BJP MP Kirit Somaiya's letter, Rahul Gandhi, the Congress Vice President, has said that he is happy to be targeted. This after the BJP alleged that there is a link between the VVIP chopper deal and an aide of the Congress Vice President. In a letter that has been written by BJP MP Kirit Somaiya, he has alleged that K Singh, a political aide of the Congress Vice President, founded a firm named MRMGF, which employed Augusta middlemen as well. The Congress has so far responded in a very strongly worded statement claiming that K Singh or any member of his family never had any stake in MRMGF. But the BJP has also alleged that MRMGF firm was involved in the Commonwealth Games scam. The Congress has so far debunked the charge as being completely baseless and false. The party has asserted that there was never any connection between the party or any Augusta middleman.
Augusta was between Rahul wants Augusta was between Rahul wants
कनिष्का के रिश्तेदार की एक कंपनी है और उसमें जो जिन लोग मिडलमैन जाने जाते हैं और उनके जो वकील हैं गौतम कैतान ये सब डायरेक्टर बने हैं तो ये अब क्यों इस कंपनी में गए और कनिष्का का रिश्ता राहुल गांधी के साथ एक बहुआयाम रिश्ता है और इसीलिए वो इन्हीं साधारण बात नहीं हो सकती है कम से कम हमें तो जांच करनी है खास तौर पर देखना है कि उस कंपनी में पैसा अंदर कैसा गया बाहर निकला क्या किधर गया ये सब मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग की एक फैक्ट बनती है
Will K Singh will come on record? Is MGF is not his grandfather, his mama, his mummy. K Singh family is not the major shareholder and beneficiary. Can he deny that Haske was director of MRMGF joint venture? Can K Singh and Rahul Gandhi refuse that they were named, this MRMGF were named in CWG scam? Now Haske is also found and nailed down by Italian court in helicopter scam. Not only there, I would like to go one step further. Rahul Gandhi family is also beneficiary. Let Gandhi family disclose what property transaction they had with MGF.
Now, after the Congress President's name was dragged into the AgustaWestland scam, Congress President Sonia Gandhi had said that she was not afraid of anyone.
I am not afraid of anyone cornering me because there is no base to that cornering. All what they are saying, all the accusations they are throwing at us, they are false. They amount to calumny. I am saying the government is there for the last 2 years.
Welcome.
Hollywood. This is a black tie event which US President Barack Obama previously joked is a night when Washington celebrates itself, brings together journalists, media barons, Hollywood.